You know what I'm going to need is the prophecy card. Hi, everybody. Wonderful. Miss Leslie, do we have the purple prophecy card among our? Great, great. That's great. That's great. That's exactly it. Okay, sit down so that you can see me and face this way. Hi, Rennie. And we're going to make our prayer table for the season of Advent. How many of you knew this was the first Sunday in Advent? And how many Sundays in Advent, do you know? Good guess, but it's 4 plus Christmas. That's what makes you, I bet the candles made you think of that, did it? Yes, good thinking. Okay, so let's ask for the purple cloth. Can you come and put the purple cloth on first? Any way you like to. There you go. Thank you. Okay, and on top of that, let's bring our Advent wreath. Who's got that? Okay, good. Wherever you'd like to put it. Thank you. And we need 3 purple candles. And 1 what color candle? Pink. Will it fit in? Is it hard to fit in?
I can't.
Okay, we'll see if we can make it fit in. Come on, candle. Let me see if I can. There we go. That's good. That'll last. Thank you. Some of them are wobbly and some of them are barely in there. And we need the candle holder for the white candle. Thank you. And the white candle. Beautiful. This is our Advent wreath. Who can tell me, whoops, we got to stick it in there really well. There it goes. Who can tell me why we've got purple on the table and purple candles? I'm going to call them. Do you know why? It's the color of Advent. It's the color of Advent because we're doing something different in this season. Do you know this is actually the first day of the new church year? Today, the first day of the new church year. Now, usually the first day of the year is January 1st, but not at church. At church, we live the life of Jesus every year in a circle. And we come back around to it again the next year, but you've changed and I've changed, and so it's all different. These 3 candles mark 3 of the 4 Sundays that we'll be getting ready for Christmas. This candle is for Mary. Who can tell me about Mary? Tell me about Mary, Ren. When you learn about people?
Mary.
Yes, Mary. And Mary was something special to Jesus. His mom, yes. How many of you already knew that? And what was Jesus' father, his earthly father's name? Joseph. Okay, we're about to do the Christmas pageant pretty soon, and there will be a Mary and there will be a Joseph.
Today?
Not today, in a few weeks. Good question. This is the candle for Mary, and it's the 3rd week. So today we will light 1 candle because it's the first Sunday in Advent. So who has our matches? Can you light it? Okay. Just eat any one you want. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Yeah, I'll just put these in. You can put that on top of there if you want to. So now we're going to need the snuffer. We always need the snuffer. I think someone's carrying the snuffer. Henry, you want to bring the snuffer? Okay. Don't snuff it yet. You know, I'll let you snuff it at the very end because we're going to leave it lit while we're doing this, okay? So where would you like to put the snuffer on the table? You choose. Thank you. And I'll call you back up at the end. Now we have other things to add to our beautiful table. Bring everything else up and yeah. Amelia, unwrap it. And you have the Good Shepherd statue, and we have a chasuble. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Amelia, who do you think that is? Mary, thank you. And what do you notice about her, Mackenzie? She has a bird and she's pregnant. Yeah. And we need the Good Shepherd statue. And who can tell me about the Good Shepherd statue? Tell me about the Good Shepherd statue. Thank you. He has some sheep, and when one is lost, he looks for it until he finds it, puts it on his shoulders, and brings it back. Thank you, Ruby. Is there anything else we need to put? The Bible. Maybe it's hurt. Maybe that sheep is hurt. And we have, we have a stand and a chasuble that looks pretty much like the one, Hazel, you've got the chasuble, I think. There you go. Yes, will you help her? Zadok, will you help her put that on there? Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's turn it around the other way. Oops. Yeah, no, you had it right. It just kind of lays on there. And let's turn it around so the the fancy part shows. There we go. So the church is decked out in purple to say we're getting ready. The priest is decked out in purple to say we're getting ready. And we're getting ready in here. But what are we getting ready for? What are we getting ready? Christmas. And what is Christmas anyway? What is Christmas anyway? The birth of Jesus. And yes, Santa Claus, we all know about all the things that Christmas means. Elves. You get presents on your birthday and presents on Christmas, yes. And do you know where we got the idea of presents on Christmas? Well, where did Santa get the idea? Because you're right, Santa gives presents. Where? From when the wise men gave Jesus the presents when he was born. That's a great connection. The wise men brought him some presents. And where did the wise men get an idea to bring presents? Christmas presents. The birth of Jesus, the biggest. Because the angels told him. The angels told Mary. The angels told the shepherds. Yes, the first gift giver is God. The very first gift giver. And guess what? God gave you to the world. There was never a you. Now there's a you. And God constantly is giving gifts. And we're just copying. We're adding more people. We need more gifts. We need more love. Yes, Hazel. The three kings bring Jesus presents. And who knows what those presents were? Do you remember what they were? They were odd presents. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. How many people knew that? Okay, which one is the one that you know the most about? Probably gold, right? And frankincense they used to pray with, and the white smoke would go up. And myrrh is a very valuable oil that they used when someone they loved had died, and they put it on the body of someone they loved as a sign of great love for them. Now today we're going to talk about light and darkness. And oh yeah, do you want to put the flowers? You know what I should have done is gotten a bigger table. Okay, thank you. And we'll need this for I'm going to move this back here, and if you'll put that right on the front, we're going to need our card, our Advent wreath card. Yes, our prophecy card, I mean. All right. Thank you. Now, a long, long time ago, more than 1,000, more than 2,000, more than 3,000 years ago, a man said the words that we are going to read today. Long time ago. Older than me, older than your grandparents, older than your great-grandparents, older than George Washington, if you know about him being our first, older than anybody you can think of. And this man's name... Yep, and your daddy is not as old as these words are, no matter how old he is. Good question. Older than God? No, not older than God, because God created Isaiah, and Isaiah had a job. You did. You sure did technically think of somebody that's older. You're right. So God came first. Much later came Isaiah. So Isaiah had a job, and guess what his job was? Listening. Show me what you look like when you're really listening. Yeah. Yes. And when you listen, really listen carefully, do you make much noise? No. I don't either. Sometimes, yeah. But when you're really listening, so Isaiah spent a lot of time listening, and he was listening for God. And God told him things that he told God's people, the Israelites. And this is one of them. Ooh, watch out. Watch out, Ren, because these things will tumble off on you. Okay. Girls, can y'all give that styrofoam to Miss Julie? Because we need to keep it. We can wrap Mary in it later. Now, if you'll look here, the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. On those who dwelt in a land of deep shadow, a light has shone. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Let's talk about darkness. Have you ever... I'm going to class birthday party today. Good. Do you... Now, good, good. Today we're going to talk about, right now we're going to talk about dark and light. Have you ever walked around in the dark where you really could not see? There was no light. Have you ever done that? What was it like? You were in your bunk bed and your mom turned off the light and nothing. You couldn't see anything. You couldn't walk. What was it in the night that you felt, that you thought was big, but it was tiny? Okay. So you were listening in the night and you heard a sound that sounded like it was up on the roof. What were you going to say about being in the dark? You were in your bathroom when the lights went out? Yeah. Yes, your eyes hurt because it was so black and so dark. You knew there were things around, but you couldn't see them.
I see something dark, and I see, I see something scary at trick-or-treating.
Yes.
It's so scary.
Yes, trick or treating is all about the dark. It's all about the dark. So that's a good connection to make. Trick or treating is all about dressing up and looking weird and looking strange and being in the dark. But this says people who were walking in the darkness see a light. So have you ever been in such darkness at night that it scares you, that it makes you worried? Have you been like that? I've been like that. Have you ever been in such darkness you couldn't even see your hand? That's a frightening thought, and that's a frightening experience. And Isaiah is telling God's people, the people who've been walking in darkness like that, they're seeing a light. Now, I ask you, which is stronger, dark or light? How did you know that? How did you know that? So light can penetrate the darkness, you said, but even so, light casts a shadow. So we don't get away from shadow and darkness. What were you going to add to that? Yes. Do you know if okay, this one candle that we have lit right here, if we had only darkness in this room, all dark, like you're talking about, the darkness where you can't see your hand, this one candle could transform that darkness and change it to light. But all the darkness in the world cannot put out light. All the darkness that there is could not. We could blow this candle out. We could snuff it. We could put water on it. We could put it in the sand. But darkness can't do it. Darkness can never conquer light. But light can conquer darkness. And we have a little song about that, and it's called "And the Light Shines On in the Darkness." Have you ever heard that song? No, Mom? Okay, there you go. I was looking for that. All right, this is Mr. Troy. God bless you. Thank you. He just got this music like a minute ago. Okay, so here's how he's learning it, right, with all of you. No, I just handed them, or just left the music for him. So the words are, "And the light shines on in the darkness." Would you say that? And the light shines on in the darkness. And the darkness will never overcome it. And the second part is just like that. And the light shines on in the darkness. And the light shines on in the darkness. And the darkness will never overcome. And the darkness will never overcome. And here's how it sounds. Would you give me a C? And the light shines on in the darkness. And the darkness will never overcome it. And the light shines on in the darkness, and the darkness will never overcome. So what's the message of that song?
Darkness will never overcome.
The darkness will never overcome. What kinds of dark are there besides just somebody turn the lights off? What kinds of dark? When you're sad and lonely and you feel like nobody likes you in the whole world and you want to go away, that's darkness. And you feel like you're in the darkness and no one can see you. Ooh, that hurts. What's another kind of darkness? Say some more about what's in Pandora's box. Evil. Evil can be darkness. Do you agree with her? Evil. How can the evil be darkness? I agree with you too. If there's a what you call your mama and daddy? That is right. If a bad guy laughs or does anything to make you feel unsafe, you tell your mom and your dad. Okay, let's, what other kind of darkness? Were you thinking of another kind of darkness? Will you raise your hand when you think of it? Okay, you had one. A kind of a darkness? So you think it's a metaphor and the darkness means evil. Is that what you said? And the light means good. So if that's true, the darkness is evil, then the people who walked in evil have seen good. Who's the light we're waiting for? Everybody? Jesus. How can a person be a light? How? Yes. You can lead a good example, have a good attitude, and you can be the light. You can be the light. Yes. So they can show you the way, and when you feel you're worse, they're the ones who say, it's okay. You can get up and you can be happy again. Yeah, that's a light. That's a light. Yeah, you can get up when you've been sad. And sometimes it takes another person to help you. Yes, Mackenzie. Outer space is dark. Very much so. Until we get the telescopes and look way into it, then we see incredible light. Okay, let's sing our darkness and light song again. And then I'm going to teach you the Advent wreath song and we'll be done. Here's our darkness, and the light shines on. And the light shines on in the darkness, and the darkness will never overcome it. And the light shines on in the darkness, and the darkness will never overcome. You remember when we learned the Advent wreath song a little bit? Okay, no? Okay, we only learned it like maybe once. Okay, here's how it goes. Sitting with my brothers. Thank you. Sitting with my sisters. Sitting by the Advent wreath. Waiting with my brothers. Waiting with my sisters. Waiting by the Advent wreath. Now here come the questions. Why are you waiting, boys? Why are you waiting, boys? Why are you waiting, girls? Why are you waiting, girls? Who are you waiting for? Who are you waiting for? And then we say, stand up and sing. Stand up and sing. And we will stand up in a minute. He is the King. He is the Lord of Lords. He is the Lord of Lords. That's who we're waiting for. 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 Okay, so let's try it. Again, Mr. Troy's first time. Talk about a good sport and a smart man. Okay, sitting with my brothers, sitting with my sisters, sitting by the Advent wreath. Waiting with my brothers, waiting with my sisters, waiting by the Advent wreath. Here come the questions. Why are you waiting, boys? Why are you waiting, girls? Who are you waiting for? Get ready. Stand up and sing. He is the King. He is the Lord of Lords. That's who we're waiting for. That's who we're waiting for. Thank you so much. Yeah. And thank you, Mr. Shroy. You're a great sport. I think I told Henry he could snuff the candle, but I can give you a job. Henry, would you please come and snuff this candle?
I'll hold it.
I think he's ready to do it. Thank you. Okay, let's look at the adults who brought you down, and you're going to go back up to your rooms, and I'll see you next time.
I gotta get my food.
Okay. Thank you, girls and boys. Okay. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Okay. I don't know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Okay. All right. I have some questions for you at your table to ask one another. Just discussion questions, very much like what the children were discussing. And you could tell we could have gone on for a really long time talking about all of that. But were you surprised at some of the things that they said? Yeah, it's really surprising. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that children want the answers to the big questions. They don't want the little drummer boy story. That's not what they're after. They want to know, where is God when something happens that is abominable? Where is God when there's a tornado or a war or my grandmother got sick? Where is God? What's going on? And that means they deserve exactly the same spiritual food that you and I get. So let me ask if the youth would mind passing around to everybody. I think we have enough for everybody to have one, but if we don't, we might have to have one per table. And we'll just spend the rest of our time together with you. Just maybe appoint a person who likes to read questions at your table to read the questions together and talk about it. This table, yeah. Does every table have a sheet of questions? And you could have more than one if you'd like it. If you'd like to look at the questions too, if you want to. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks for passing those out. Okay. Thank you. Yep. All right.